Topic 2-3, Part 3. Writing and solving equations with grouping symbols. Let's look at this first example for Part 3. An apprentice pastry chef has been left alone to make 8 cakes. He cannot remember how much sugar to put in the filling. He knows the following. Each cake, not counting the filling, requires 1 1/4 cups of sugar. The head chef told him he would need a total of 12 cups of sugar for all 8 cakes and filling. Write an equation to represent the situation. Then find the amount of sugar needed for the filling of 1 cake. So, what we're going to have to do in this reading problem is to let our variable represent what we're solving for. We need to know the number of cups of sugar needed for 1 filling. Therefore, I'm going to let F equal to the number of cups of sugar needed for 1 filling. That's what we're looking for. Find the amount of sugar needed for the filling of 1 cake. So that's what F is going to represent. Now, let's set up an equation. First of all, we know the total sugar that we have. The total sugar we have is 12, equal to, we know that we have enough for 8 cakes. So this is 8 cakes. Now, what we do not know is the amount of sugar for 1 filling. We know the amount of sugar for 1 cake. The amount of sugar for 1 cake is 1 1/4 plus, but we don't know the amount of sugar for 1 filling. Therefore, that is F. Remember, our F represents the number of cups of sugar needed for 1 filling. So I have total 12 cups of sugar is equal to each cake requires 1 1/4 for the cake of sugar, and then F represents the filling required with the sugar, and there's 8 of these cakes. So first, I would need to convert this 1 1/4 to an improper fraction. I would multiply 4 times the 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5/4. So I've changed that mixed number to an improper fraction. That would be the first step in solving this equation. Now, I can go through and distribute. Anytime we have a number out in front of the parentheses, we need to distribute. So I have 12 is equal to 8 times 5/4. So let's do it over to the side. 8 times 5/4. 8 is over 1. If you multiply straight across, 8 times 5 is 40. 1 times 4 is 4. And 40 divided by 4 gives me 10. So if I distribute 8 times 5/4, I get 10. Plus, distribute 8 times 1F. 8 times 1F gives you 8F. So now I have an equation that does not contain fractions. Isolate the variable by subtracting 10 from both sides. The 10's cancel. So I have 8F is equal to 2. Next, let's divide both sides by 8. Your goal is to get F on one side by itself with a 1 in front of it. On the right-hand side, the 8's divide, leaving 1, F equals 2, 2/8. Now let's reduce that fraction, dividing each one of these by 2. 2 divided by 2 gives you 1. 8 divided by 2 gives you 4. So F equals 2 1/4. So ends up each filling requires 1/4 cup of sugar.